All right, guys and girls. So, what on earth is happening with Bitcoin right now? Should we panic sell? Should we get rid of our altcoins, our Bitcoin? I'm here to tell you, do not worry. I mean, it's just the beginning of altcoin season. Bitcoin hasn't even reached its peak yet. And of course, this is not financial advice. I could be completely wrong. 90 odd percent, 97, 98% of people lose their money in the space. So, why is Bitcoin having a pullback right now? We're going to jump into that, the reasons for it, my personal reasons for this. And again, I can't utter it enough that it's not financial advice, it's just for educational purpose only, my show. So if you're new around, please go ahead, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get stuck straight into Bitcoin, shall we? So right now we're still up 8% for the month of December. Last month was phenomenal. We've had those big gains, and eventually we have to have a pullback. We can't go up in a straight line forever. And I mean, if we go back, at the beginning of November, we've had that huge parabolic rise really with the Bitcoin price. And right now, I did mention that we've got this CME gap here down at 102,000 to 103,500 US dollars. And right now, we are trying to basically fill up the CME gap. So the CME gaps tend to get filled 90% of the time, sooner rather than later, and we've only filled it halfway. I expect us to fill it up. Yes, we didn't fill it up over the last 2 days, but I expect us to finalize and fill this CME gap, and then we can get a bounce off it towards our next price target. So before I talk about the next price target and also the Bitcoin dominance for the altcoins, why is Bitcoin doing this? Well, again, CME gap, like I just mentioned, and also the Federal Reserve are expected to make the third rate cut today. So employment and inflation trends set stage for Fed's critical decision on rate adjustments. So that's coming out over in the US today. It's expected to lower interest rates by about 25 basis points to a range of 4.25% to 4.5%. So another reason, there's several reasons, two of the main ones, CME gap, and then the announcement of the Federal Reserve right now. But again, like I mentioned, nothing goes up in a straight line. We do have pullbacks, and this is one thing I wanted to show you in today's episode, is that if we go to the weekly, we just go back, for example, if we go back to the last cycle, I'm going to show you just here, just bear with me. So go back to the last cycle, and we can clearly see just here, when we had that rise from, wait there, let me just get rid of this. Thanks for your patience. So we had that rise all the way from September to January 4th, approximately, and then we had a pullback here of, let's just show you this, of around 31, 32%. So again, we do have these pullbacks in the parabolic stage of the bull market. So that's nothing in comparison with what I'm going to show you next. So that's 31.5%, approximately 32%. And then when we reached, because obviously we had that double top, we came all the way up to 64%. And then usually they say walk away in May for a reason, and we dropped down 55%. So I'm not saying we're going to drop 55%. What I could see happening is we continue to rally, we fill up the CME gap, and we continue to rally all the way to our price target of that cup and handle of 122,000 US dollars. 2 or 3 weeks later, the altcoins are going to have their altcoin season. We haven't seen anything yet with the altcoins. I'll get to that in just a second. So if we do rally all the way up to 122,000, and we have a let's say 30% pullback, that would bring us down to 83,000 US dollars. A 50% pullback would take us all the way down to the levels that we saw back at the beginning of this year, from March all the way through to October. I don't think we'll see that. I think what would happen is we'd probably come down 35% and fill up, as you can see, this CME gap that hasn't been filled up yet, all the way down here at 77 to 81,000 US dollars. So what we could see is a parabolic rise to our price target. The inauguration happens in January for the new president, and then the hype fades away, and we have that huge pullback of 30 to 35% back down to these levels. And then what we could see is from February, March, April is that last rise to 150, 200,000. But again, it's just my crazy thinking, what I'm seeing in the market right now. Let me know in the comments section below what you think. But again, it's just my personal opinion about Bitcoin going forward into 2025. So having said that, let's just jump over into the altcoins. So right now, what I like about this is the altcoin index drops to 59. So it was at 62 and it's dropped down to 59. So basically this index shows altcoin season. So yes, we're in altcoin season because the index has registered a score of 59, which indicates we're in a altcoin season, but it's not the parabolic season. If we see a parabolic rise where the altcoins are absolutely going bonkers, crazy, then we have to be above 75 out of 100. If we drop below 25, then clearly we're in the Bitcoin dominance has obviously risen and the altcoins are bleeding. So right now, it's dropped to 59. It's only dropped 3 points on the index. That's because there's an increased Bitcoin activity, consolidation among altcoins, and investor sentiment has gone towards Bitcoin. People are jumping into Bitcoin because it's been rising. Everything, all attention and hype is in Bitcoin. But when that fades away, I reckon over the next 2-3 weeks, when we've topped out at 121, 122k, then the altcoin season will probably go from the index of 59 straight up to into the 70s and beyond. And that's because people want to diversify into volatile assets such as the rest of altcoins, and of course, like I just mentioned, Bitcoin saturation. So this means the price has become less dramatic. It's easier to make bigger gains, bigger X's in altcoins, so people will start jumping, and you'll see this, people will start jumping into random altcoins or massive altcoins that have bigger, like thinking AI and gaming, etc. So they will explore. People just explore with all types of different altcoin projects, and then you'll start seeing 10x, 20x, 30x, even some cases 100x with some of these lower market cap. The lower the market cap, the bigger the X it is. So of course you have to be careful. If you go to a lower market cap, then the volatility could be, you could get absolutely wrecked. But bigger the gains are in the lower market cap coins. So altcoins right now, we're in altcoin season, but just looking at the dominance, just to finish this episode, we're sitting at 57%. So I did say on Monday that most likely we would fill up the wicks here, and we have done. I reckon now we're going to go a lot lower. We'll probably have a double top here, and I think we're going to go a lot lower now. We've come from 61.5% all the way down to 54%. We've had that, let's say, reverse pullback. We've filled up the wicks, and I reckon now we will continue to go much lower. So when this thing comes a lot lower, I reckon we're going to start going towards our 48%. So when this thing comes all the way down here, over the next 3 to 4 weeks, altcoins are going to absolutely rip to the upside. So if you're in altcoin positions, it's good. You've got another opportunity to jump in while the prices are, today's a pretty bad day in altcoins, but if you're looking into jumping into altcoins for bargain prices, then yes, everything is on sale at this moment. So that's the time you want to buy, when the dominance is high, ready for the next parabolic move with altcoins. And then what we'll see is this come down, and that's when you'll be making your gains in the altcoins. But again, not financial advice. You've got to do what you've got to do. Hopefully you've already got positions in altcoins ready. You've been dollar cost averaging throughout all of this period, and you're going to make some nice gains over the next 2 to 4 months. So that's pretty much it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for sticking to the end, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.